testes, prostate, corpus cavernosum of the penis, corpus spongiosum of the penis, epididymis, glands of the penis, pelvic part of the vas deferens, scrotal part of the vas deferens, prostate, prostatic urethra, scrotum, seminal vesicle, spongy urethra, tunica albuginea of penis, external urethral orifice, bulbospongiosus muscle. The testes are paired oval-shaped male gonads located within the scrotum. They are combined endocrine and exocrine glands that produce sex hormones and sperm. They contain about 200 to 300 lobules, and each lobule contains up to 3 seminiferous tubules. Seminiferous tubules are where sperm are produced, and in between the seminiferous tubules are clusters of interstitial endocrine cells, which are the source of testosterone. These also contain nurse cells, and the seminiferous tubules lead into a network called the rete testes. Sperm partially mature in the rete, and the nurse cells help aid in the movement of the partially matured sperm cells. As the sperm leave the testes, they're carried away by the efferent ductules into the epididymis. The epididymis is the site of sperm maturation and storage. The epididymis reabsorbs about 90% of the fluid secreted by the testes. Sperm are physiologically immature when they leave the testes, but mature as they travel through the head and the body of the epididymis. It takes about 20 days or so for them to move from the head to the tail. They're stored here in the adjacent portion of the ductus deferens pending ejaculation and remain viable for about 40 to 60 days. If they become too old without being ejaculated, they disintegrate and the epididymis reabsorbs them. The vas deferens, also referred to as the ductus deferens, are the cord-like structure that comes out of the tail of the epididymis when it does kind of a 180-degree change in angle. It's a muscular tube which is about 45 centimeters long, and it passes upward through the spermatic cord and inguinal canal and enters the pelvic cavity. It passes between the bladder and ureter and widens eventually behind the bladder into a terminal ampulla. It ends officially by uniting with the duct of the seminal vesicle. The seminal vesicles are a pair of glands located posterior to the bladder. One is associated with each ductus deferens or vas deferens. Seminal vesicles are accessory reproductive glands. They empty into the ejaculatory duct. Yellowish secretion of the seminal vesicles constitutes about 60% of the semen. The seminal vesicles contribute a viscous yellowish fluid, the last component of the semen to emerge. It contains fructose and other carbohydrates, citrate, prostaglandins, and a protein called prosmenaglin. When the clotting enzyme from the prostate activates prosmenaglin, it converts the semen to sticky fibrin-like protein, semenaglin. Semenaglin entangles the sperm, sticks to the walls of the inner vagina and cervix, and ensures that the semen does not simply drain back out of the vagina. The prostate surrounds the urethra and ejaculatory ducts immediately inferior to the urinary bladder. The thin, milky secretion of the prostate constitutes about 30% of semen. Its milky white fluid contains calcium, citrate and phosphate ions, a clotting enzyme, and a protein hydrolyzing enzyme called serine protease, or prostate-specific antigen, or PSA. 20 to 30 minutes after ejaculation, the serine protease of the prostatic fluid breaks down semenoglin and liquefies the semen.